Et bonjour YouTube, bienvenue dans cette dernière VOD de la soirée sur Disco Elysium. Lors de la dernière VOD, donc, on a eu pas mal de retournements de situation, de mensonges qui se sont annulés. Et on a donc réalisé que...
The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight.
Où est-ce que ça mène?
I don't know. It is not the first closed door we found in this building. There is also your mysterious blue kitchen door.
Vous pensez que c'est important?
I don't know. The further we get, the more this building seems to be tied to the case. The vigilantes, the cadaver, and a number of people connected to the case are in or around this building. This door is part of it. It's not unimportant.
Vous voyez, la méga enquête et la porte fusionnent pour former une enquête en stéréo.
I hate it when that happens.
Je
It's
pousse.
barred from the inside. You hear the bar rattle in the brackets.
J'essaie d'enfoncer la porte. 3%. Et je me blesse.
You kick it, gung-ho style. Entering the premises style. But the door fails to respect the force. All you hear is the bar rattling inside, laughing at you.
All right, let's trash the place.
Let's not.
Ok. Donc cette porte mènerait certainement en bas. Donc ce qu'on a découvert, c'est que déjà le mec n'est pas mort de pendaison, c'est qu'on l'a pendu après sa mort pour brouiller les pistes. Que les Hardie n'ont rien à voir là-dedans, ils ont juste maquillé la scène après coup pour éviter à la jeune femme, la classier, que ça rappelle en réalité Catalzéné, je ne sais quoi, d'avoir des emmerdes parce qu'elle est en fuite des conglomérats et de la morale interne qui est plus ou moins l'ONU de ce monde visiblement. Et donc le mec s'est fait buter alors qu'il était en train de coucher avec elle par un tireur qui était soit sur le toit, soit un sniper à longue distance à 3 emplacements qu'on a identifiés. Et il est possible que... toi rien. Il est possible que... notre principal suspecte, ce serait Ruby, qui serait la huitième Hardie, qui aurait été amoureuse de Classier et qui aurait, par jalousie, tué le mercenaire qui était qui avait une relation amoureuse avec elle. Bon, j'ai parlé à Classier, à présent je dois causer à Ruby.
Why?
Une guerre civile se prépare et la seule manière de l'empêcher c'est de résoudre ce meurtre, autrement dit de parler à Ruby.
Sounds like you wanna push this steaming pile of shit on anyone. And now you pit Ruby. Ruby's one of us. We're not gonna throw her under your moral intern steamroller. Fuck that shit.
And fuck you too, moral
Ruby is missing. If you hide from the police in a murder investigation, you become a suspect. You know how it works, guys.
That's nothing. That's just legalese. You don't even have a sound theory. I don't want to be rude, but we're trying to get some R&R here. Think you could fuck off now?
I think we'll keep sticking around, Titus. You'll be surprised at how quickly a theory presents itself if you keep looking.
Je vais avancer une théorie solide sur la culpabilité présumée de Ruby à 72%.
A sudden flash of lightning in your neocortex. The hostel cafeteria is lit by its airy blaze. Floor plans, bullet trajectories, webs of human emotion, all channeled into a single thought.
Pourquoi êtes-vous si sûr que Ruby ne l'a pas tué?
Because she was here, all night, with us.
He's cobbling together shit so he can put her away. It's Cop 101.
She was here all night? 12:25 to 12:15? She was here during all that time?
Yeah, with us.
drinking. Near the stage there.
Elle n'est pas allée aux toilettes.
No.
That's a lie.
Vous savez que c'est pas le cas.
All right. She took a fucking leak, okay? For one moment. Maybe went out too. She has an operation to run from her lorry. We're not getting into what that operation is again.
Mais je sais, c'est le trafic de drogue.
That's probably for the best. Don't break your stride now.
And just 'cause she was gone for 5 minutes doesn't mean she magically got to the roof and shot him. I've been through this. It's not plausible.
All right, we're in. We got Ruby unaccounted for sometime during the window. This was crucial. Now let's place her on that roof.
Ruby a peut-être accédé au toit depuis l'intérieur du Whirling.
Nah. The only way up there is through Clausia's room.
Il y a peut-être autre chose.
What do you mean?
Vous connaissez bien cet endroit, les gars?
We've only been drinking here for what? 6 years? How much do we know?
Been thinking of getting wilding in rats. That is on my ass, boss.
There you go. Tatted on his ass. We know the place.
Il y a une porte verrouillée dans la cuisine et une autre sur le toit. Vous les avez déjà utilisées?
No, but that doesn't prove anything.
It's just 2 dolls. We're not giving you Ruby for that. She's one of us.
What if those 2 doors are connected, Eugene? Is that your name, Eugene? If they are connected, she could have gone to the kitchen, gone up, shot him on the roof, then come down. All in 5 minutes. How about that?
Yes, she could have. This is one long shot.
Il secoue la tête, mais une lueur d'intérêt brille dans ses yeux. A-t-on établi avec certitude que Ruby aurait pu accéder au toit d'où est parti le tir?
Firmly. Try shit on a stick. All you've established is a possible route to the roof that you haven't found. And even then, a route doesn't put that bullet in the Burke's head. A gun does that, and Ruby doesn't carry one.
Phase 2. Murder weapon. Get a gun in her hand. If not that, then at least a shadow of a doubt. In the shape of a gun. Just don't contradict yourself. If it doesn't sound like Ruby did it, maybe keep it to yourself.
Des armes comme celle-ci, il n'y a qu'à se baisser pour en ramasser à Martinez.
That looks antique. A Belle McGrave. It's inoperable. Where'd you get it?
Il y a une cave sous la librairie, il était caché là au milieu d'autres.
20, maybe 30 rifles, Titus. Also broken, but still, there were too many. And there must be other caches too.
God damn it. We need to close that dump down for good.
Okay, I see your point. There are guns lying around. Damn it. I thought we'd found all the old spots. Why was that still there?
We just missed one. Ruby doesn't know this place, boss. Just these cops digging up shit.
Je n'ai pas dit que j'allais prouver qu'elle détenait l'arme du crime, mais uniquement que nous avions besoin de la trouver. Attends, j'ai déjà établi que Ruby passait de la drogue. Elle peut très bien avoir fait aussi du trafic d'armes.
God damn. That's just about your favorite topic, isn't it? Every fucking 5 seconds.
You were warned not to bring it up.
Merde.
Your best shot here is to just back out of it.
Très bien, Titus. Je ne m'aventure plus sur ce terrain si ça touche à vos précieux business.
Okay, cop. She's got connections. I could see how she could have access to a gun. That still doesn't mean she did.
That's all you needed. Doubt.
Je n'ai pas dit que j'allais prouver qu'elle détenait l'arme du crime, mais uniquement que nous avions besoin de la trouver.
All right, cop. Keep talking. I'll tell you when I've had enough.
Pete, we're not seriously considering it, are we? Ruby wouldn't do this. Why would she do something like this?
Phase 3. Motive. The last component. The big one. Get this and they'll give her to you. Remember, don't piss him off. That never works.
Classier m'a raconté des choses très intéressantes à propos de Ruby.
Yeah. Like what?
Le cul. Non. Apparemment, elle avait le béguin pour Classier.
A thing? You mean?
Behind his squinting eyes, dominoes are falling. Fast. It's all beginning to make sense to him now.
Yeah, but they're both girls.
Girls like girls too, Angus, sometimes. This is one of those times. She liked Glacier.
Il faut sortir de... faut s'éduquer un peu, mon petit Angus. Tu peux vraiment être un réac, quoi. Qui m'a raison.
Fuck you. First he says she's murdered him. Now she's a too? It's a lie.
Come on, Glenn. She likes Monica's titties more than you do. Everyone knows which way the wind blows there.
I did. I knew it. That's why she didn't fuck me at Fatty's birthday party.
She didn't fuck you, cause you're 40, and you still live with your mom, Dennis.
Classier a dit qu'elle lui avait fait des avances et qu'elle les avait repoussées.
Ruby then threatened her and told her to end her relationship with the deceased.
This is some sordid shit. It's also the kind of garbage our Miss Aronier puts out to cover her own ass.
Elle nous l'a dit. Ruby lui a foutu les jetons et elle a craché le morceau.
That Ruby is queer as cabaret. Now that I start thinking about it, I don't know why I didn't see it earlier. And that's okay. Some are queerer than others. You can still be a Hardie. But if you bring your own personal shit into our outfit...
If that's the case, then it's not right. But it's not the case, right?
There are many pieces that fit together that way, Eugene. Face it.
Quand Classier est descendu, Ruby semblait savoir que quelque chose avait mal tourné.
Nah, man. That's just Ruby. She's got shit under control. That's her whole thing. That's why she's so good.
Plus, man, it's like female intuition, you know. Women talk to women. Which is sort of why we need someone on the team who they talk to.
Eugene wants a woman on the team so they can do their job. That must be hard. Half of Martinez is female.
Ou bien elle était au courant de ce qui s'est passé parce qu'elle l'a tué.
Not so useful.
Fucking hell.
C'est peut-être une remise en cause de votre autorité? Non, mais non. Ce n'est pas pourquoi elle l'a tué, mais pourquoi ça... Pourquoi je peux... Ça m'a pas... Ça a pas suffi, là, mes arguments? C'est peut-être une remise en cause de l'autorité, de la vôtre, Titus.
There's no fucking leadership challenge. Just when I thought you were taking this seriously,
Merde.
you put your head in your ass.
Man, now he's just throwing shit against the wall to see what sticks.
Okay, we ruled out infighting. That's how this works, by exclusion. Remember, all we need to do is rule Ruby out too. That's all this is.
There's a bit of truth in there for Titus to react so brashly. He does not like his authority questioned.
Ce n'est pas pourquoi elle l'a tué, mais pourquoi elle a tout dissimulé.
And I suppose you have a theory about that too, cop.
Elle a peut-être simplement tout dissimulé dans son propre intérêt, Titus.
Think about it. Why go through all that effort? It was her idea, wasn't it? The hanging. You went along, but she suggested it.
She had, like, a fully formed plan and shit. Right with...
Really, Shanks?
Merde.
Claudia wanted to talk to another girl, that's all. She was just the first one up there. I could have come up with that plan, if I'd have been first.
Time for a logics demonstration.
Putain, lequel des trois je choisis? Eugene. Non, oui, bah c'est lui qui a dit qu'il avait un plan. Alors, Eugene, partons du principe que vous l'avez tué.
He scoffs.
Think. You kill him. Get up there. Shoot him. Get down.
Vous préféreriez être jugé avec vos amis pour un lynchage collectif ou seul pour avoir commis un meurtre?
The man is silent.
If she used us to cover her own shit up, well, that's a serious violation of the Hardie code, boss.
Which is why she didn't. This is fucking stupid, Titus. This and the queer thing, all of it. Why aren't more of you defending her? This is fucking stupid, Titus.
Glenn, I thought the same thing when she skipped town and left us in this shit.
Oh, so he didn't rule her out completely. And she skipped town. This is good.
Titus, vous le voyez bien, ça colle pas, on doit lui parler.
Silence. He looks around the room. The old man in the corner nods. This is the only option he cares for.
Yeah, I see it. There's one more thing I've been wondering about. Ever since you asked me where she is. Add it to your list of suspicions, if you want. I don't know where she went. She just got up and left. Got real scared, too. Wouldn't tell me where. However, hard, I asked. Wanna know why?
Pourquoi?
She was afraid I would tell you. Maybe she was right. By now, I probably would.
She knew there's evidence on her, and she knew we'd find it. This is typical suspect behavior. Why fleeing is always incriminatory.
Perhaps. Ask her if you find her. It won't be easy, though. She made sure of that.
Quand est-elle partie?
Friday afternoon, when you first arrived. I got word the RCM was in town. Then she came in to see me. Told me she was leaving. That's when we had our little conversation.
De quoi avait-elle peur?
I told you. You.
De moi personnellement?
Yes, you. The cop with the sideburns and the disco clothes.
Pas étonnant qu'elle ait peur, je suis venu décréter la fin de l'expérience humaine.
Sure. The human experiment. That's real funny. You know, when I first saw you limp in here, I thought she was paranoid or sniffing her own supply. But now I'm not so sure.
Eh ouais, hein, je suis un flic d'élite finalement. Qu'est-ce que Ruby vous a raconté d'autre sur moi?
She said you have a funny taste in clothes and that you won't stop.
Que je n'arrêterai pas.
Until you have something on her. She said she's heard of you from Jamrock, that you're a human can opener, that you play suspects against each other, open them up like cans.
Ça me ressemble bien, oui.
Fucking hell. Titus, did he just...
Open Angus up like a can? Yes, he did. Now, we can whine about it, whack him, or we can go on with our lives. I'm having to go on with our lives kind of day, Al. How about you?
It's not an actual question. Silence. He nods.
C'est vrai, Sakim, je suis un décapsuleur.
You are insistent.
Autre chose, n'importe quoi.
Yeah, there was something else. She wouldn't tell me, though. I could see she wanted to. It was burning on her lips. This cop, Titus, this cop,
Putain, je suis vraiment un
but
cavalier de
she was too
l'apocalypse.
scared.
Vous avez une idée de l'endroit où Ruby a pu aller?
She's not far. We know that much. She didn't take her lorry, so she's on foot.
Donc maintenant que l'écluse va être réparée, on va pouvoir aller voir de l'autre côté.
Good fucking luck, man. She knows this place like the back of her hand. You'll never find her.
Yeah, Al, and we won't either.
She's not really, Hardie candidate anymore, is she?
She's not, Glenn.
Vous êtes parti à sa recherche?
A little. On the coast.
Where have you looked for her, more precisely?
More precisely, on the coast, past the waterlog. She's not here, so I'm thinking she's there.
Vous pouvez me dire où je devrais commencer à regarder sur la côte?
Sure, there's some shit houses there. A cinderblock town. Fisherfolk there refuse to unionize. So, that's one place we haven't looked. I hear they have a shack where junkies sometimes crash. Time for you to step up.
We will start there. One more question. What does Ruby look like?
Boyish. Hair's red. Dyed. She looks like a Lowry man.
Vous savez ce qu'est le trafic avec les ondulanes?
The what now? I have no idea. Boys?
She said she's building a pale emitter.
What?
We were talking about radio equipment. She said she's doing Ulan frequencies and a pale something. I don't know more.
This guy barely understands what he's talking about.
There you have it. Pale something.
C'est pas beaucoup, mais ça fera l'affaire.
It'll have to.
Allez, je te serre la main.
His grip is firm and reassuring, like holding a piece of unpolished granite.
On est maintenant potes.
Not just granite, tightly packed RCM sergeant material.
Vous feriez un bon flic, Titus.
When are you gonna get it through your dumb head? I already am. I just wasn't sure you were.
And he still isn't. People aren't afraid of good cops in the way Ruby was afraid of you, he thinks, then turns back to his men.
Je vais flipper. Là, le royaume de la conscience, j'ai envie d'en apprendre plus, là. Tout ce qui est conscience politique, là, c'est très intéressant. Très bien. Donc, il va falloir que j'aille de l'autre côté. Mais déjà, est-ce que Alice, elle a du nouveau sur l'identité du Maccabée, du coup? Parce qu'on en apprend beaucoup sur les circonstances de sa mort, mais on sait toujours pas qui c'est. Et il faut qu'on aille le réexaminer aussi, parce que maintenant on sait qu'il a pris une balle. Et c'était ça qui nous échappait. On savait qu'il y avait quelque chose qui nous échappait, mais on savait pas quoi.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox.
This is Precinct 57. How may I... Yes.
Alors,
It took some convincing, but I got the mercenary's name and a few biographical details. Are you ready?
The lieutenant leans in to listen, notebook in hand.
allez-y.
That suit of armor was issued to an Oranese citizen named Elis Kortenaer. That's E-L-L-I-S K-O-R-T-E-N-A-I-R.
Mais c'est son pote.
Exact date of birth unknown. He was signed into the Lelystad County Neonatal Care Unit on 28th of February 09.
Le service néonatal.
He was found as a newborn in a leaf compactor near an abandoned farm. He spent 4 months in the neonatal unit, survived apparently, and was assigned to a foster family at 2.
According to Clausia, Lele said his real name wasn't really his. Perhaps that's because he was fostered.
This is what the ICP knows about him. He was raised by foster parents, entered the Eastbrand Military Academy in Vredefort at 17, then served in the Oranese forces till he was honorably discharged in 41, just a year before the Seminese conflict. Then the armor followed him to Seminine, or at least I assume it did. And that's it. There are no records of his employment in Crenel, or any of its other incarnations, or him even entering Revachon.
Attendez, il a été trouvé dans un compacteur à feuilles.
It's a garden tool used to press leaves into these cubes. It's a detail the hospital had, the only detail in these files. So I thought it would be good for you to know.
It is. Thank you, Alice.
Des infos sur ses parents adoptifs.
None, officer. Sorry.
Donc tout ce qui le relie à Crenel, c'est cette armure.
Even that is a small miracle. These organizations usually double-check their inventory. Thank you, Alice. Great work.
No problem, Lieutenant.
A compliment from Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Not bad.
J'avoue, moi j'en ai pas beaucoup. Bien, on a son nom et ses états de service maintenant.
The name. This is very good. Elis Kortenaer.
Sometimes police work is about human dignity, about giving back names to anonymous victims.
I'm glad the inquiry was helpful to your investigation, officer.
J'en ai fini avec la radio.
57, over and out.
In the cabin, you
Mais du coup, sur la bande, c'était l'autre qui parlait, puisqu'il il disait Corti. Celui qui disait je suis le soldat de l'apocalypse, mes couilles là. D'ailleurs, Kim, il m'a fait aucune réflexion sur le fait que je porte les bottes du cadavre. Il s'en bat les couilles, ouais, il a laissé tomber.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly.
Allez, fouillez le cadavre de fond en comble une dernière fois.
Your arms reach out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh, first with your fingertips, then under the palm of your hand.
Et c'est reparti.
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a spider, your hand crawls over his features. Everything is silent.
Mettre les doigts dans sa bouche.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling. You're on the right track.
Jouer avec, oui, c'est une bonne idée.
The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, delicate to touch. From the soft meat, teeth are budding. Hard pearls of bone in the gums and in the back of the mouth. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in.
Ouvrir les yeux et regarder.
A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your naked hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from the throat, and there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened. An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Collerette d'abrasion.
Abrasion collar.
Stylo en main, Kim regarde dans la bouche du cadavre. Son calepin est ouvert au niveau du papier pelure. La toucher doucement avec le doigt.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound.
Mettre le doigt à l'intérieur.
Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Le tronc cérébral.
Yes, that's what this part is called.
Commencez par toucher ce qu'il y a autour.
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. The bullet has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again. Never wake.
Enfoncez encore plus profondément la main.
Your fingers slide into the remains of his limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres.
La cavité est là, juste entre les hémisphères.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Enfoncez encore plus profondément la main.
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow.
L'enfiler comme un gant.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper, until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Sharp, serrated material. The edges cut right into your skin. This must be the bullet.
58%, c'est parti. Yes. J'ai Choper la balle.
You pick the sharp metal bullet between your index and middle finger. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just...
Je l'ai.
Good, good.
Sortir doucement les doigts.
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth, covered in blood up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
A bullet.
Le lieutenant sort un petit sac avec le mot preuve écrit dessus. Laissez tomber la balle dans le sac.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber rifle. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
Je peux l'avoir.
Of course. You've earned it.
Le lieutenant pose le sac dans votre main recouverte de sang. Il est léger.
We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion collar. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Correct.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Ça concorde avec l'histoire des Hardie et celle de Classier.
And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3, ligament mark. Treatment. It's obvious the Hardie boys tampered with it.
On aurait dû s'en douter.
I had my doubts. There were no signs of a struggle on his hands. No claw marks on his neck. But still.
His brow furrows while his eyes glaze over. The lieutenant looks regretful for not figuring this out before.
Je crois que j'ai besoin de me laver.
Oh, you really, really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
Peut-être que la balle nous apportera plus de réponses.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
On fait quoi ensuite?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
Vous partez? Qu'est-ce que je dois faire en attendant votre retour?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
Yes.
The word lingers in the air of the basement. Far away, ice cream makers are buzzing, and the sea blows outside. Detective.
Mettons-le dans un sac, Kim. Emmenez-le. Laissez le lieutenant emmener le corps et travailler seul le reste de la journée.
All right.
Il sort un sac mortuaire noir brillant et commence à rabattre le plastique sur le cadavre.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
J'enveloppe le corps dans le sac et je le porte jusqu'à l'automotrice. Nickel. Putain, on avance bien, n'empêche. Et il m'a laissé la balle, comme ça je vais pouvoir l'examiner. Bon, par contre, range-moi ça. Alors, la balle.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found. Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower.
Qu'est-ce que je vais bien faire de toi, petite balle?
The squished little thing has no idea. I know. You should find the gun that shot this bullet.
La gobée. Cherchez l'arme qui l'a tiré.
That sounds like something a police detective would do. First, you should learn all you can about this little guy. Then find the gun that shot it and the person that gun belongs to. He used it to kill your victim. Neato.
Et examinez la balle de plus près.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
J'inspecte la douille.
You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear.
Et le
It
cœur.
feels standard. It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound. Far away, Lieutenant Kitsuragi is flipping through stations in his Kanima. He is not here examining the bullet with you. He should be. He would find this very intriguing. Mention it to him later when he's here.
Tâter la balle à travers le sac.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge.
La balle n'a rien d'autre à vous apprendre. Bon, faudra que j'attende que Kim soit là. Il y a la bouée. Et du coup, bah, maintenant que je suis tout seul, je peux retourner voir Classier pour lui parler de ce qui s'est passé le dimanche soir. À propos de moi, oui, c'est ça. Avant que je perde la mémoire. Peut-être que ça va m'apprendre des trucs aussi. Ça va les branleurs? Peut-être que je devrais leur parler pour leur dire ce que j'ai fait. Peut-être qu'ils peuvent m'aider. Et ensuite, il va falloir que je traverse. Mais peut-être déjà parler à l'autre mercenaire. Pour déjà éviter qu'il s'en prenne au Hardie sans raison. Et peut-être qu'il peut m'aider à trouver Ruby aussi.
Officer,
Maintenant que
it's a
Kim,
fine day for questions.
maintenant que Kim n'est plus là, reparlons de ce qui s'est passé dimanche soir.
Ah, yes. The night before I saw you in the hallway and reminded you you're a police officer.
The date of your re-entry into the fossil record.
Avant vous, le monde était contenu dans cette pièce. Le bourdonnement du moteur, la vapeur dans la salle de bain, les ténèbres.
Wow. Mythopoetically adequate stuff.
She's a glib girl, but she liked the wording.
Est-ce que vous avez entendu quelque chose dimanche soir dans ma chambre?
There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music.
J'avais de la visite?
I can't say. Probably not. Sounded like you were flying solo.
Vous avez parlé de musique disco jouée plein pot?
Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestrations prime among them.
Elle lève un sourcil, s'attendant à ce que le nom vous dise quelque chose.
Oh, that? Yeah. Whoa. The less said about OO, the better.
Oh, we're huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on.
Then, doesn't life get hard because we go on?
Peut-être qu'on devrait pas s'accrocher, c'est parce qu'on s'accroche que ça devient dur.
I think you might have come to the same conclusion last night. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped, and there was a change of pace.
Qu'est-ce qui vient de se passer?
A slow, sad song started playing. Like
C'est ça qu'il me faut.
organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of that time you were yelling along to it.
Qu'est-ce que je chantais?
That it doesn't matter anymore, and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a wounded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it.
Quand vous dites en route, c'est une bonne chose. Comme si j'étais un animal sauvage.
Yes, it was very cool.
It's impossible to say whether she's being sarcastic or really means it.
Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé ensuite?
Then you started screaming and trashed the place.
Putain, je suis une vraie rockstar, quoi. Vous êtes sûr que je n'étais pas en train de me faire agresser?
No, it didn't sound like there was a fight. It sounded like someone was trashing their room. A window was smashed, the tape player probably, the song stopped. And furniture too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out.
Quelque chose d'autre à signaler?
There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable. I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then. Around 4 or 5. And that was it.
Merci.
No problem, sir.
Nous en reparlerons à une autre occasion. Pourquoi il y a des feux d'artifice dans mon quartier maintenant? Tous les soirs. Ouais, donc là, il y a les snipers, ouais. Les villageois, se débarrasser de l'odeur de mort, trouver l'arme du crime. Effectuer une analyse balistique de la cible, ça sera quand Kim sera de retour. Donc ça sera le lendemain. Je sais pas, les gens doivent être contents que le confinement soit terminé. Tous les soirs, c'est... Boum, 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 boum. I want you in my room. Allons se laver.
The fan stands still. This is not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's cleaner than you are right now.
Faire couler un bain.
The bathtub slowly fills with water. The water beckons.
Je me déshabille, je ferme les yeux et je m'immerge.
The water is only lukewarm, but still comforting. Like amniotic fluid. A few beer cans are bobbing up and down along your flanks, like sad duckies. You feel nice and lonely, and so tired.
J'enlève les canettes de bière.
Now you are alone with your thoughts in the tub. But it's easier than being alone with your thoughts outside the tub.
J'imagine quelque chose.
You see the corpse. You can still smell the cadaver on you. It's going to take more than one bath to get rid of that stench. Then, houses along a narrow street. A video rental. Darkness on the planet's curvature.
Je m'attarde un peu dans la baignoire.
Your fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whirls as the water cools.
Allez, je
The
sors.
waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still moist skin.
J'ai gagné un point, je vais augmenter ma logique. Je vais devenir une machine à calculer. Très bien. Le mercenaire. Qu'est-ce que je devais faire sans Kim aussi? La peinture, mais j'ai toujours pas récupéré son carburant, donc je peux pas. Les bottes, je les ai. Ah oui, je voulais parler aux flics.
Yes.
Non,
Again?
non. Au revoir. Très bien, poursuivons. Le mercenaire. Je suis sûr qu'il aura des trucs à me raconter si je lui dis tout ce qui se passe. Non, à tous les coups, il aura rien à me dire. Et voilà, rien. Est-ce que Kuno, il aurait des trucs à me raconter? Rien, je peux essayer de le cerner.
What's going on?
Non.
Like you don't have enough on your plate. You feel a sudden surge of self-pity.
Ah putain, merde, par contre, je vais perdre du moral. Kuno, cité de la rage, Night City, c'est quoi tout ça? Je suis curieux.
No! You told him about it and now he knows your name!
The city's not fucking lame. You are lame. Kuno's tired of defending Rage City from... Just fuck off, alright? And fuck you too, putting Kuno on the spot like that. Kuno doesn't need to fucking explain his shit. Kuno's king. He rules here. Fuck did you want?
Explain himself, as if explaining some kind of work, some kind of avant-garde work way ahead of its time.
Je suis intrigué.
You must get to the bottom of this one of these days. Sadly, it's unlikely to happen today.
Ok, je m'en vais.
doesn't fucking...
Donc rien. Je peux réessayer ça ici.
An
Non, je peux
inconspicuous
pas.
part.
Ok, bah du coup on va aller traverser l'écluse. Maintenant que c'est ouvert. Ah putain oui, ça bouait. Elle a dit sur la côte à l'ouest. Il y a un truc d'égout et ensuite des roseaux. C'est pas ici. Ah, ah. Je me suis auto jumpscare en cliquant sur les compétences. Ben, les ouvriers sont passés, mais... Si, ils ont enlevé le truc, là. Ouais, donc du coup, là, normalement, je peux ouvrir ça.
A rusting
Je
control.
tire sur le levier. Vous attrapez la poignée et tirez le levier vers le haut. Dès que le métal entre en contact avec les broches, vous entendez un grand bruit et...
The waterlock starts moving.
Parfait. Je viens de débloquer la deuxième aire de jeu. L'électricité bourdonne dans l'antenne radio. De l'argent. Alors attends. Chaque chose en son temps parce que... Droit devant, vous voyez des défenses en béton vieilles de plusieurs décennies. Les enfants sont en train de jouer dessus. Une boîte à fusibles qui alimente le pylône radio au-dessus de vous. Qui sait, peut-être qu'il y a quelque chose à l'intérieur. De la thune. Bon, j'ai déjà payé ma prochaine nuit d'hôtel, mais il faut que je pense à demain aussi. On ne sait pas. Ça c'est chiant, les petits bugs, des trucs qui s'en vont. La balançoire n'est plus là, l'endroit est désert depuis longtemps. Quelqu'un a caché sa collection de musique sous la bâche. Bande magnétique, la plus petite église de Saint-Saëns.
The porter reel is just what you needed. The reel's attached to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed behind the magnetic reader.
J'appuie sur lecture.
You press the large button marked Commencer, and the tape starts spinning. There's a small delay before the song starts playing.
Je colle mon oreille au haut-parleur.
It sounds like someone's moving in the room, getting comfortable. Then the organ starts playing, a simple, melancholic tune echoing in the hallway. A lone singing voice joins in, telling you about the tiniest church in Sessons, surrounded by even tinier yard. You almost feel the seaside mist on your skin. It's mega sad. Within seconds you know, this is the one.
Yes.
The real shit you've been looking for. The one you trust your room to that Claudia told you about. Perform it. A click, then silence for a bit. Then the tape stops spinning.
Je pourrais chanter ça en karaoké, je m'en sens capable.
Of course you could sing this. You could take sad to a whole new level with this. And you already know the lyrics since you've listened to it like a million times. Yup, they're all here. All 3 verses. And the B-side of the tape contains the instrumental version. It's like the world itself is telling you to do it. Only one obstacle stands on your way.
Quoi donc?
Gart. You have to convince Gart to let you sing karaoke in the whirling. After you've won him over, you can express yourself. Let the pain out. Make everyone understand.
Excellent. Ok, j'ai enfin la bande triste. Le graffito dit gloire à nos fantômes. Il n'y a rien. Ok. Vous entendez un grincement, c'est celui d'un essieu brisé. Petit bidon d'essence.
A banged-up motor carriage lies half submerged in the icy water, slowly sinking into the Insulindian Ocean. Only the cabin top, rear wheels, and the engine remain visible. It must be cold and lonely down there, in the icy water.
Une automotrice dans la mer, d'où vient-elle?
The motor carriage sits in the salty ocean water, cold and sad, and doesn't provide an immediate answer.
Je devrais enquêter.
A seagull takes off from the half-submerged machine. It's almost like the bird is acknowledging your decision. You get a sudden sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep, dark, cold water. Why the doom and gloom? It's just a sunken motor carriage. Some motor carriages are bound to end up in the sea.
Quel est le constructeur de cette automotrice? Il y a un logo?
The logo is too deep in murky water. You can't make it out, but you do see a monkfish float by.
Passez votre main sur le métal froid.
The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists.
Ça fait combien de temps qu'elle est là?
The accident couldn't have happened too long ago. The ice hasn't closed up around the vehicle, so the crash must have happened
Ça doit être la mienne.
last Saturday or Sunday. The estimate is correct. The incident probably occurred on Sunday evening.
Que dois-je faire?
Although the sunken motor carriage is probably flattered by you addressing it, it does not supply an answer. Wait for the low tide. Then you should be able to access the cabin.
Vous asseoir sur la balançoire, attendre que la marée se retire. Ça va me faire perdre ma journée, ça.
As you sit down in the old, rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks around the blue motor carriage in the sea.
Je vais siffler une mélodie.
The tune on your lips forms a strange yet undeniably beautiful contrast with the surrounding bleakness. It's sad that no one and nothing but the sunken vehicle is here to witness it, but the unexpected beauty of the tune lifts your spirits. None. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion.
Je me demande ce que font tous ces gens dans la ville derrière moi.
Dreaming, drinking, fucking, fighting, trying to improve their lives, wishing for a better tomorrow.
La marée prend son temps.
It's unclear whether the sunken vehicle agrees or not, but merely uttering these words gives you the illusion of time speeding up. Just like how the crazy daredevil piloting that vehicle must have accelerated
C'est moi,
into the
c'est
sea.
complètement moi.
Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass.
Punaise, ça prend beaucoup de temps.
Yes, it is. It feels as the city behind you grows silent in the waiting. Seems like an eternity has passed. A dim light scatters from the cloud cover above the city. In it, you can see the blue and white motor carriage slowly appear from the water, centimeter by centimeter, as the sea recedes. It's a Caprice 40, a workhorse of the motor park, favored by the working men, government offices, firefighters, I guess, maybe animal control people. You know, those kind of people.
Plisser les yeux et dire, c'est un numéro sur le côté?
Yes, number 41, as in precinct 41. Come on, man, that's our ride.
Oh Seigneur, non. Même si l'automotrice est à moi, littéralement n'importe qui aurait pu la conduire dans la mer.
Come on, Harry. There's nowhere to run. It's just you and me, old friend.
Oh Seigneur, non.
I'm so sorry, Harry. A massive pit opens up in your stomach, and the most terrible feeling comes over you. No. Just no. Say no to this, Harry.
Oh mon Dieu, c'est la mienne, j'ai conduit ma voiture dans la mer.
Yes, Harry, you did.
Non, 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 non.
The sooner you accept it, the sooner you can move on.
L'insigne, l'arme et maintenant ça.
Keep moving. You're a shark. You stop, you die.
Peut-être que je pourchassais quelqu'un.
You were not.
Comment on fait pour te sortir de là?
We don't.
Je peux la réparer?
No, you can't. The damage is too extensive.
Ils vont pas me reprendre après ça, hein.
After losing every single thing you were entrusted with, I wouldn't hold my breath.
Au moins je peux voir ce qu'il y a dedans maintenant.
An aggressive-looking seagull lands on the swing set and stares at you with a murderous look. You really need to keep moving. Kingdom of Conscience. The Kingdom of Conscience will be exactly as it is now. Moralists don't really have beliefs. Sometimes they stumble on one, like on a child's toy left on the carpet. The toy must be put away immediately, and the child reprimanded. Centrism isn't change, not even incremental change. It is control over yourself and the world. Exercise it. Look up at the sky, at the dark shapes of the coalition airships hanging there. Ask yourself, is there something sinister in moralism? And then answer, no. God is in his heaven. Everything is normal on earth.
Les choix de dialogue moraliste octroient plus 1 de morale. Volonté, le seuil d'apprentissage passe à 5. Logique, le seuil d'apprentissage passe à 5. Je récupère un nouvel objet. Le bidon cabossé et la carte postale, oui. Et du coup, le bidon, il devrait me permettre de faire la peinture. Une bouteille complètement vidée de son alcool et prisonnière de la glace. Ouais, bah, ça explique bien ce qui s'est passé. Mon insigne. Lieutenant 2 du bois. Et ma veste de commandant de la MCR. Incroyable. Je suis commandant de la MCR. Esprit de corps plus 1, projection analytique plus 1. Clairement ça qu'il me faut.
A police badge on which you see the photo of a man. You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back.
J'ai retrouvé mon insigne.
The man in the photo looks at you solemnly.
J'examine l'insigne.
Encased between 2 durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with lines of information and a watermark in the shape of the street grid of Revachol West. You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number, the date of issue, and in the lower right corner, your precinct.
J'inspecte la photo.
The man keeps winking at you with his green-grey eyes. The photo is old, no doubt about that. the badge is new. You used an old photo for a new badge. Good choice. A newer photo would look different.
De quand ça date?
8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good looking. He's got a nice haircut and is distinctly lacking in massive sideburns.
Mais pourquoi fait-il un clin d'œil?
What do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression, although it looks less grotesque on him than it does on you now. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shining watermark.
Nom Harrier Dubois.
This document confirms it. Harrier Dubois, i.e., Harry is really your name.
Rang lieutenant de JFR.
That's what it says on the badge. No more information is provided. You should look at the badge when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is around. He could help you make sense of all this. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shining watermark.
Numéro de série Rêve 12 62 05 Jam 41.
Rivershall, Jamrock, Precinct 41. You don't remember what the numbers in the middle mean.
Date d'émission 7 novembre 50.
The badge was issued roughly 4 months ago. A new document is given to you as part of a promotion, or when you lose the old one.
Poste 41.
The number shows that this badge belongs to an officer of the 41st Precinct. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shine.
Je repose l'insigne. Parfait. Un mystère de résolu. Des empreintes de pas dans la neige, elle s'éloigne de l'accident. La partie inférieure de la coque a été récemment goudronnée. Donc là c'est les cabanes de pêcheurs. Alors attends, on va regarder un petit peu ce qui se passe par ici. Un bateau est dissimulé sous une bâche. Des billets? Carte postale de Call City, d'accord. Petit nœud papillon pour un effet dramatique. Parce que ma cravate, j'ai quoi? Cours intérieur. Ah oui, non, mais non. Papillon de l'art dramatique, là. Vous apercevez une chaise rouge foncée baignée par la faible lueur de la pièce. À travers le verre cassé, vous apercevez des étagères poussiéreuses et une chaise oubliée.
Great news. The boat is big enough for a grown man like you to fit underneath it in a supine position.
Bonne nouvelle donc, j'ai vraiment besoin d'un endroit confortable.
No, wait. Sorry. My bad. There's a rotten dog carcass under there and old fish too. You wouldn't fit next to the mummified canines mausoleum. You have a home somewhere. All cops do. When this is done, you can return.
Ah oui, c'est pour trouver un endroit où me reposer sans avoir à payer le whirling drag, ça. Peut-être pas se planquer sous un bateau. On vaut pas grand chose, mais peut-être un peu plus que ça quand même. Le tir ne peut pas provenir d'ici, les arbres bloquent le champ de vision. Des bruits de vie au nord, une planche à laver pour écurer la saleté du tissu. Des parpaings carbonisés, un foyer de fortune contenant des magazines pour l'allumer.
You sit on the warn.
Non, non, on va pas perdre notre temps, on va se poser sur des bancs. Là-dessus, je suis d'accord avec Kitsuragi. Des rideaux blancs ont été tirés, impossible de voir à l'intérieur. Vous voyez des draps couverts de poussière, des tubes séchés sur un lit. Pantalon, un terrain solaire, plus un au royaume de la conscience. Bah ouais, mais non. Je le garde pour le revendre. Une vieille pierre aiguisée couverte de rouille. Les matériels de construction. Celui qui voulait construire cette baraque est parti en coup de vent. La thune. Ça c'est fermé. Vole le caillou. Suis ram.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth.
Eh, où est votre maman?
The kids don't reply, absorbed in their little game.
Vous ressemblez comme 2 gouttes d'eau.
The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's something to be scared of. The obvious fact that you just stated.
He looks just like me.
Ouais, je l'ai déjà dit.
The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock. Both of their hair is covered in some kind of dirt.
Les enfants, vous avez vu des méchants dans le coin?
What bad people?
Des méchants, des criminels, des femmes dangereuses.
No, we're not really so hesitant to talk to strangers.
Au revoir les enfants, faites attention. Putain, mais oui, en fait, c'est moi qui ai aussi déglingué le panneau qui a pété l'écluse avec ma bagnole. Le panneau est illisible sous le graffito. Difficile d'entrevoir les détails, cependant les couleurs chaudes et chaleureuses sont réconfortantes. Une jardinière où rien ne pousse, peut-être au printemps. On peut pas aller par ici. C'est la fin de la zone. On va parler à ces poivrons là, déjà récupérer leur thune. Les buissons sont trop épais et épineux pour être traversés. Il rétrécit les yeux comme s'il vous reconnaissait puis détourne la tête. Qui est Abigail?
Abigail is his wife or girlfriend. Chances are she's gone. Calling her wouldn't make it any better or worse. You're not going to get anything out of this guy. He's too drunk.
Qui êtes-vous? Quel est votre nom? Vous auriez pas vu une femme passer par là récemment? Je m'en vais.
Hey, Tequila! Good to see you. How's business? How's the whole reality situation treating you?
Je lui serre la main.
So what's happening?
Tequila?
Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the high concept reality-based adventures proceeding?
He says it like it's obviously your name. Like you call someone Billy Brunel or leader of the 4th Street gang. Good. These people know your true name. Looks like it has preceded you, Mr. Sunset. More on that later.
J'ai pénétré à nouveau la réalité pour la conquérir, pour la faire plier à ma volonté. La loi, c'est moi.
That's the spirit. I used to shape reality into my image a long time ago. Those days are over now. Sadly, things aren't going that well in Idiot Doom's Spiral Land. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't won that great piece of ass back. No word from my business buddies.
This guy's your buddy. You feel it immediately. You belong to an organization, a fraternity of drunks. Idiot Doom Spiral, huh? This is bound to be a good, high-concept conversation.
Vous auriez pas vu une femme rousse appelée Ruby traîner dans le coin dernièrement?
Can't really remember seeing any women after losing my keys.
It's a touchy topic. He hasn't got laid in ages. He really has no idea who this Ruby is, sire.
Qu'est-ce que vous faites dans le coin?
We are saving the world.
Please. Please don't go. Don't go.
Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. That's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once, a long time ago, with enterprise, creativity, and willpower. But that didn't work out. So now, it's a pirate's life for me.
C'est quoi un tequila sunset? Vous avez que ce mot-là à la bouche?
It's you. Your tequila sunset.
Comment vous savez ça?
We've met before. Don't you remember?
No, you sure don't.
Non.
Aha. Do you want to know how Tequila Sunset came to be?
Tequila. Tequila sunset. Something ominous there.
Pour une raison que j'ignore, l'appréhension me gagne quand j'entends le nom de tequila. Mieux vaut en rester là, je pense.
You think you feel bad now. Wait till you've heard the story.
No, no. You need the wisdom.
Allez-y.
Let me take a sip to moisten up my chords. Tequila Sunset rolled into Martinez last Friday. And by Tequila Sunset, I mean you. The man, the myth.
J'étais seul?
Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop interrupting. You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by the worm, I mean the buzz. Because as far as I know, all you did was get piss drunk. Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer, and that it would be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head, right in front of them. That's pretty high concept, if you ask me.
It is.
Que s'est-il passé ensuite?
It was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, were getting our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this. We get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm and glowy. I trust you know the feeling. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza, followed by a series of dings and bangs. Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. That's just the reality we're in.
Naturellement.
Anyway, there was a brief silence, a gasp of silence, if you will, followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening towards the coast at top speed. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed to the jetty. Never underestimate the speed of an alcoholic. What we saw was a sight to behold. A beat-up police carriage containing you. Right there on the beach. You revved the engine and screamed at the top of your lungs. The time hath come! So, naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time hath come. To which you replied, the time hath come for Tequila Sunset, the end of all things.
Tout ce que j'ai dit est vrai. Tequila Sunset brisera les tisseurs de réalité.
Yeah, looms. Why not? Then you jammed the pedal and plowed right off the jetty and through the ice. We ran towards the ice whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in seaweed and shit, like some kind of sea monster. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It was too late to get in there, though. The carriage had sunk too deep.
C'est bon, j'ai récupéré.
In this way, you and your motor carriage have a lot in common.
Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences and invited you to party with us, which you naturally agreed. We asked about the whole Tequila Sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now and insisted that we all call you that from then on.
Tequila Sunset, ça claque comme nom.
Yeah, I agree.
Pendant combien de temps on a fait la fête?
Hours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then, at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, you got belligerent and wanted to talk about Revacholian women. How they're beautiful and also whores and so on. how one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looked sullen, got up, and left without saying anything.
On peut dire que c'est une sacrée histoire.
It was the greatest thing this fishing village has seen since Rosemary tried to use a crab to open his beer.
Aye, that was a classic too.
Est-ce que je vous ai donné des détails sur cette personne qui m'a bien baisé?
You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying you got fucked real hard, and that we've all been fucked too.
Ah bon? Non, 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 non.
Please, don't open that door.
No one's fucked me. I
J'ai
do
plus
the
de
fucking
médicaments
man here.
pour la santé, je peux mourir à tout moment.
It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through some shit.
Est-ce que par hasard je vous ai dit que j'avais perdu autre chose?
Beside your gun and your badge, you said something about your hope or heart or something. To be honest, the details are a little hazy. In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too. That's a big one.
Est-ce que je vous ai parlé de mes collègues?
You told us that they were a bunch of fucking losers whose main interest was cramping your style.
It's more like you were cramping theirs.
No specifics, though. It was more about you that night. You were the star of the show.
Est-ce que je vous ai parlé de l'affaire?
Yeah, you said it was no biggie and that you'd solve it in no time. And that you didn't need anyone to do it. You're doing it solo now.
Est-ce qu'on a parlé de politique?
Yeah, you kept talking about how the coal mine owners were fucking us all over, just like that woman fucked
Non,
you.
tais-toi, parle pas d'elle.
I didn't agree with you, by the way. The spectral hand of the market makes sure everyone gets exactly what they deserve.
Est-ce que vous avez une idée du type de flic que je suis?
You kept calling yourself a goddamn superstar who'd cleared 501 cases. No thanks to the squares at the precinct, as you put it.
Je veux rien savoir de plus.
It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs.
On dirait que vous avez une certaine capacité à raconter l'histoire. Ça vous dérange de m'en raconter une autre plus tard?
Whoop-de-doo. So now I'm a fucking storyteller. Right, why not? Better than a beach bum.
Oui, vous pourriez me raconter comment vous êtes devenu malempitre.
It depends, really. Are you willing to help me out?
You might get scammed here.
J'ai l'impression que cette histoire va me coûter bonbon.
No, the reality of the situation requires a rather modest contribution.
Une bière, c'est
A
ça?
little motivational package.
De quoi vous avez besoin?
Booze. Did you already forget our party? The thing I relayed to you earlier. So, have you got anything for good old idiot Doom Spiral? A bottle for a story.
Tenez,
Seems fair to me.
j'ai une pilsner de caractère.
Not much, but it will do.
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
Don't call Abigail.
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. Something happened to you. Something happened to me, too. My actual name is George. But around here, you already know. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. A founder/junior partner at a high concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract with an insurance firm.
Continuez.
I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called a cultural incubator. Abstract value generation, value per person, high concept stuff. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me. So I went jogging every so often to keep myself sane.
Une minute. Combien de gens travaillaient pour vous?
22 full-time employees, an all-star team, a potentially historical set of individuals. Worrying about them often kept me up well into the morning hours.
Le jogging vous aidait à dormir?
It did. With my trusty Sansaric tracksuit, I felt like I could conquer the world. But now dreams are worn thin, much like my tracksuit.
Il s'est passé quoi?
One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys jangling in your pockets.
His eyes are your eyes.
So I removed the key ring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling, you see. At least, that was the plan. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality situation became very wet, very quickly.
À quel point étiez-vous trempé?
It was a day not unlike this one here. I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with the key to the letterbox, which was useless. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because I slipped and landed on my ass.
Aïe.
Ouch, indeed. Reality was looking rather grim just then. Me lying on my ass in a mud pit in the middle of a heavy shower. But when life knocked me down, I always got up. So I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets, I realized that I'd also forgotten my apartment key.
C'est une blague ou quoi?
I wish I were, Tequila. I wish I were. Instead of my apartment key, I'd taken the key to the office.
Bon, et que s'est-il passé ensuite?
I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late, and most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something and hung up before I could even explain the situation. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be one of the best.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm there. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. And since I hired only the best, he'd already done it, and I couldn't get in. Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company, well, you see where I'm going with this. So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh?
Voyons le bon côté, vous avez une sacrée histoire à raconter.
Yeah. Maybe I've exaggerated certain parts over the years. When you tell a story too often, it begins to take on a life of its own. But what matters is that it's true to my subjective experience. Anyway, that was all the story one bottle gets you. Almost empty, this one.
Truly, he has the soul of an artist.
Pourquoi vous perdez tout le temps vos affaires?
Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, you think I'd be hanging out on a beach in this formerly premium but now extremely dirty two-piece lycra tracksuit? I used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I had our own creative services agency. I had a nice apartment, an even nicer piece of ass. But somehow it all got away from me. Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week I stole this nice new jacket, but then I lost it too. The only things I haven't lost are these two drunks.
You of all people should empathize with this. Perhaps this lost jacket is something you could help with?
C'est quoi cette histoire de veste perdue?
Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. It was practically brand new. Sure, it didn't really go with my lycra threads, but it did itch a lot less. Say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help old Doom Spiral out. Solve the case of the missing jacket. What do you say, Tequila?
Une minute, vous êtes en train de demander à un agent de police de vous aider à retrouver une veste que vous avez volée puis perdue?
Yeah, exactly. You're here to serve, right?
Très bien, où l'avez-vous perdue?
If I knew where I lost it, don't you think I'd have it? I mean, Maybe I was up by the boardwalk, or walking along the beach, or checking out the abandoned fish market.
C'est beaucoup d'endroits.
Somewhere north of here, that's for sure. You could ask around, see if anyone's seen it.
Comment s'appelait votre agence?
My agency, man. The Boom Boom Room. Our concept was combining high art with the lowest forms of marketing. The color red, breasts, and oil painting. I convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits in an even more high-concept cultural incubator called Thin Air. The artists were happy, the clients were happy. I was financing a group of poets in East Rebishal who were developing a new universal poetic language. But then it all went to shit.
Sounds intriguing. What say you, Art Cop? If it sounds like it makes no sense, that's because it doesn't.
Associer peinture et nichon pour concevoir des publicités n'est pas du grand art, c'est juste de la branlette intellectuelle.
Well, you know, sex sells. That's the first rule of advertising.
Peut-être, mais c'est du vu et revu.
Maybe you're right. Who knows? Maybe we were behind the curve. We were fucking rich, though. That much I know.
Pourquoi vous portez un survêtement?
What? You've never seen 100% lycra before? Go on. Feel that primo material.
Je touche.
Pretty nice, huh? This might be one of the last of its kind. Should probably be in a museum, honestly.
Good God. It's nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. It's like rubbing two jellyfish skins together. You feel about 15% less human for having touched it. Randomized trials have also found lycra, TM, to be associated with a number of exotic, highly malignant cancers. So you also have that to look forward to. And then there's the smell. But
Wow, you're lucky. He never lets me feel it.
That's because your paws are fucking filthy, Rosie. We're right next to the bay. You could wash them anytime.
Vous pouvez m'en dire plus sur eux?
My fellow members of the Union of Moribund Alcoholics? They're exactly what they look like.
Hey, tequila! You want to buy some speed?
Shut the fuck up, Rosemary. He's a cop, remember?
I thought he was a cool cop.
Don't call Abigail.
And this is Abs. So yeah, that's basically us. We drink together.
Je peux vous poser une autre question?
I'm all ears, tequila.
Vous avez d'autres histoires à me Non, à plus tard. J'ai plus d'alcool. Merde.
the suicide of Kraz Mazov.
Le suicide de Krasmazov. Allô, les visuels?
It's clearly a lie. Kraz Mazov didn't shoot himself. Reaction was on the counteroffensive. The State Day Palace in Mirova was surrounded. He was either assassinated or died in the bombing. You might even have evidence to support this, somewhere in your brain. Mazov was never given a state funeral by the communists. Some people even say the body that was recovered from the ruins wasn't his. There, good. Hero restored to glory. Carry on, comrade.
Bah merde, j'ai fait planter le jeu. Oh, putain. Ah, fait chier, parce qu'en plus la dernière sauvegarde elle doit remonter. Bah, attendez, on va juste relancer pour refaire les derniers dialogues là, parce que sinon la prochaine fois j'aurais complètement oublié ce que j'ai fait. Ah putain. Ah oui, puis il est planté de ouf, il veut plus s'arrêter. Si, c'est bon. Et je voulais parler au dernier ivrogne avant de m'arrêter parce que j'avais peur d'oublier d'ici à la prochaine fois. Bordel. Quand on rentre sur la piste, on est venu teaser, claquer du bif. Oh, putain, ouais, en plus les sauvegardes automatiques, ça... C'est pas légion dans le jeu, donc... Si ça se trouve, j'ai 3 heures de jeu à rattraper. Aïe 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 aïe. Allez, dis-moi que c'était pas trop loin. C'est Whirling in Rag. Je suis avec Kim. C'est l'enfer. À 1h31, c'était il y a 1 heure. Bon bah merci YouTube d'avoir suivi.